Buddy, how's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, love. It's my favorite slow jam. I waited all night long to say good morning. Good morning, love. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Gotta talk about Trump versus Kimmel. I got through watching Kimmel's opening monologue, and it was very touching. It really was. Not often I see that guy cry. What's going on, everybody? My thing's slow. I don't know if anyone's got the notification out yet. It takes a minute. Spoke about a bunch of stuff with immigration, and he said he's good at this. I'm just repeating facts, people. He said he's good at this. He says some countries are going to hell. Okay? He made a lot of comments. Just repeating the facts. And then Jimmy Kimmel, who was canceled for a short period of time by ABC because the FCC is doing weird things, and I understand we all have to exercise free speech, but that's all. It doesn't matter what politics you have. It's called our First Amendment. What did they fight for if not for freedom of speech? Y'all realize in the monarchy of England, Great Britain, before the U.S. became the nation it was punishing people for speaking out, especially during the American Revolutionary War. And so people got tired of it. And they was like, okay, well now we're just going to make our own country and y'all can kick rocks. And with France's help, shout out to France, we became an independent republic nation with our own democracy, voting rights, articles of our Constitution, the amendments were drafted. Still supposed to stand firm and true. So Jimmy Kimmel comes out last night. I'm just giving out the facts here. I don't do conspiracy theories. And of course, the first thing he says, this is good to be back. He talked about, the condolences to Charlie Kirk and his wife, Charlie Kirk's wife and children, and he was upset. He cried. What's going on? How you doing? What's going on? I am a whole woman. Don't do that. And he talked about, how he gave his condolences and how it was very Christ-like for Erica Kirk to forgive the shooter, which, I mean, even if you're somewhat of supporter and you're a Christian, being mean-spirited 24/7 has to be exhausting. It has to be. But she forgave the shooter. And that's exactly what the Bible teaches, does it not? To do because of the pain that we experience. We find it hard to forgive those. Like, I forgive those all the time who make dumb comments. I'm a woman. I'm not gay. I have 2 children. I love men. The end. I just like my haircut and mohawk. It is what it is. But the very people who say they're Christians are the main ones that make those ridiculous statements. Do I walk around holding a grudge? No. Because no one is going to stop me from being blessed. No one. No one is going to stop me from having God's hand on my life, my children's life, and from being under the protection of the almighty wings of God. No one's going to stop that. No one's going to cause me to go to hell because you got keyboard warriors that will go around and proclaim to be a Christian and quote a scripture. No one's going to stop that. So my grandmother taught me that. Never let anybody cause you to miss out on your blessings. Don't let anybody cause you to go to hell either. No one's worth that. And Erica Kirk realized that. So that's why she forgave the shooter, because the alternative is to walk around with hate in your heart. That's the alternative. And what would that do? Then she'll have to answer to that on Judgment Day, right? But if we follow the Bible, we believe the Bible to be true. As a Christian, what she did was exactly what the scripture says. And she forgave the shooter. Now, does it mean that she wants him to walk scot-free and not be, penalized and not receive the consequences for violating our laws here on earth? No. She still wants that dude to go to jail. Whatever should happen to him in accordance with the law, that's what needs to happen. Point blank. So whatever the laws say and the laws permit for a consequence, if a jury finds him guilty and the sentence is whatever it is according to the law, based on the sentencing guide, that's what needs to happen. So that's why I don't get bothered by the comments, because them comments those comments like that, it's just, I don't know you all. But and at the end of the day, Kimmel is back on the air. We got to get to the point where saying Trump's name or anyone else's name does not create a riot in the comment section. We got to get to that point where we can be able to speak facts, at least, even if we don't give our opinion, because I really don't have an opinion of it. Not one way or the other. And I steer clear from that because I want my platform to be protected and to maintain integrity. So when I do speak, I speak facts, and that's it. Facts that we can all see. We all saw the escalator get stuck. We all saw that teleprompter get jacked up. Whatever happened, however it happened, I'm not diving into that. It wasn't working. He had a bad day. Let's just say that he had a very bad day. So hit that like button. Don't be offensive. Hit the like button to get out. And then Kimmel had a very somber return. He did. Free speech should be preserved. He even played the clip of Ted Cruz saying the same thing. He was like, I never thought I would do this, but I agree with Ted Cruz. I mean, it was the right thing to say, Looking at it from one side of the aisle politically, though, that shouldn't be the only reason why free speech is preserved. It should be preserved because we have a constitution to uphold, not because it would simply be bad for conservatives. I mean, I'm not conservative or liberal. I'm A for American. That's it. What's best for Americans is for all of us to be able to have freedom of speech and expression. Do we have to get carried away with it? No, we don't. We can be mature and be adult and have conversations about it. Besides, I just don't care about drama. But Kimmel did wish the family well wishes. He even said he has friends that are Republicans or conservatives, as do I. I have friends that are Democrat and Republican. But one thing we all agree on is our faith in God and our family, and what's best for our family and our households. And that's it. There are a lot of things that we can have in common, and people just don't want to, talk about it. So, the cop just pulled somebody over, y'all. We got some action. Uh-oh. Yeah. I would lift up my phone, but I don't. He too close to my car. He trying to get somebody over. I'll get him. He could get back in the cashier. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Jimmy Kimmel makes, but I'm sure he makes a lot of money. He's been doing it for 20 years. I don't blame him. But I just, I think it's crazy where, it's breaking news when you have someone like Jimmy Kimmel agree with Ted Cruz. But that should not be news. It should be we're Americans and we agree that we need to uphold the First Amendment. At the end. Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You don't want that to happen to the other side, but you shouldn't want it to happen to any American. That's not why, over 300-400 years ago, our, independence was drafted to free us from a monarchy as a nation. And we turn around and we end up, being basically put back in the same situation. Child police. Andrew Hamilton must be rolling over in his grave. It's like, what? I did all of those articles and amended it. Y'all gonna stay here still ignore it. You kidding me? But Kimmy had a good speech. He came back and he was genuinely upset. And he cried, shed some tears, and I think he meant what he said. I don't see why he would lie about it. And I mean, as a parent, you look at someone that's executed the way Charlie Kirk was in front of children. Y'all, this happened in front of kids. Let's not forget that. That happened in front of children, in front of college students. Do you know how much counseling they're going to need? If you're like counselors and you can offer free aid, y'all might want to link up with that campus and offer some counseling sessions for those kids. All the college kids there, especially the ones that were outside, are going to need some counseling, because it might not sink in right away, but give it another good week or so, and you're going to have a lot of kids upset, trying to get through classes, taking tests and all of that, and then they need to have some counseling sessions round the clock. And then what about those adults that were there? You can only be strong but for so long, and put on a visage until you realize, I need some counseling as well. I think most of us that saw it might need to cry on a couch a couple days a week. We should not be desensitized to it, and dehumanize anything like that. He still had parents. He had 2 kids. They were there. Jesus, that is not the way to go. And then I did a video where there's a new, angle, a possible second shooter, which I said in the beginning that there's no way Tyler Robinson did it alone, but I would not have thought that there would be 2 shooters in different positions and you still get 1 shot. So was the other gun a decoy? I mean, that's the questions that I would have. Not feeding into conspiracies, but questions. If the second shooter was behind him and the angle, and I don't know if you guys saw my video, but I actually pulled up the science. The angle that the bullet would come through from the back of the head out from this neck area here, I mean, that bullet would have to be a lot smaller. But, I'm not a gun expert. So, if any of you have seen that video I did on the new theory about the evidence or the new possible evidence of a second shooter, and you guys can clear it up, I couldn't see that bullet, but I saw the splatter. Please email me, because I want to see a clear picture of that. But I did pull up the science of how that could look going in the lower part of the neck, where between C1 and C3, and coming out the neck here in the front near the jugular, internal jugular and left common carotid. That means that they would have either had to fire simultaneously, or one was in the prone position while the other actually fired the shot, and someone didn't fire their gun. That's the only way that makes sense to me. And where's the autopsy report? Are they not going to release it? Where's Charlie Kirk's autopsy? It's crazy. In general, people are desensitized. Yeah. Put on a what? Huh? Look at all conspiracies around Kennedy assassination. I mean, they all of the theories about where the shooter was standing in position regarding Kennedy assassination. Some saying he was in the front, some saying he was in the back, But I mean, I just rather look at the autopsy report. And if they fudge that autopsy report, a lot of people need to be fired. We should be able to trust the medical examiner, if nothing else, because their job is to examine the body, not care about the politics of it. There has to be some level of truth somewhere in here with some facts. This is insane. So if there's a second shooter, did they use the same weapon? Hi, how you doing? Hi, everybody. Is there a second weapon? Was it a second different weapon, rather? Was it two Mausers? Or was one using a Mauser and the other was using a totally different gun? If some people never trusted me. I'm not saying anybody should trust him. I believe in trusting the actual evidence, but now we can't do that because we don't know what it is. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I want to see the autopsy report. I really want to see that, just to see how did a bullet get lodged in his shoulder. Originally, many people were asking, where's the exit wound? And then with the second theory, or the second video evidence from the young man's channel that I pulled up yesterday and put it out there, he said with the back of the head, that was the entry, and then the exit wound was out of the neck. That would be hard to infer that a bullet was lodged in his shoulder. That means it would have came all the way out clear, and it should have landed on the floor. But then you have people, y'all got to remember what the scene looked like now. You got thousands of people around a tent canopy area, right? You have one shot that came from one area, people not really sure where it came from, running all over the place. It's madness, it's erratic. And then, of course, the police are too busy trying to apprehend somebody who would not look like the type of person that would fire a weapon that big anyway. And then, of course, in the meantime, the shooter from the LC building is getting away. And now you have a second shooter theory that came from behind where Charlie Kirk was sitting. But yet, all the people sitting in that area didn't look to their left. And then you had people taking down cameras. Yeah, it's hard to control a crime scene unit. It really is. When you're talking about people running around, upset, trying to figure out where shots are coming from. Are there going to be more? We only heard one shot. Question was, okay, are there going to be more? Where are they coming from? People running all over the place. It's a college campus. So, no one's like organizing this whole how we're going to get these people out of here sort of thing. It was just kind of maniacal in that moment. And that's a fight or flight response, y'all. So them, containing the crime scene unit was not going to be something easy to do. Okay? It's not something easy to do in real time. Now, after they apprehended someone, they should have came up with a plan. The police department and the college campus security should have came up with something to try to get that area where he was sitting contained. But why didn't they do that? I don't know. That might be something they need to consider in their training program. Every campus has their own little police department or whatnot. So campus police should have contained that area, roped it off, and made sure that no one was able to go in, taking down that camera. I mean, it looked like it took at least 2-3 minutes to do. That could have been enough time for the campus security, campus police, to rope off the area and clear out anyone that was around that canopy. I don't know how they found some of them casings, because people running across that and going up there trying to see what's going on, they kicking all that stuff around. So that's part of the job of working with the campus police and the city police, and trying to devise a plan when you have events like that. Who's going to do what in these events? Should this occur, you all need to have your men stationed here. You all need to have your men stationed over there. If something happens, we need to be able to secure this one area or secure the area of the incident. Tape it off and be able to get paramedics, firefighters involved, where they're going to come from. They're supposed to outline all of that for these major events like this. All of the logistics, the safety team, all of that's supposed to be ironed out when they have events like that. So Robinson wasn't even the actual shooter, according to witness. Yeah, they're saying it's another shooter. The only way you know for sure are the ones that have been recorded in many detailed photos. Yeah, I would love to see all of the videos from people who were standing near the alleged second shooter, where he was standing, which would have been behind Charlie Kirk, behind the canopy, but elevated up higher. I would love, who are those people that were standing over there, and were they recording? And let's not forget about the surveillance cameras. Y'all, there are cameras in those buildings. They have drones. UVU have drones. I've seen the video footage of the UVU drones that record the campus. They highlighted all the surveillance cameras. They have drones. There's no way, wherever that second shooter allegedly was standing, there's no way he was able to get there and not get captured on a camera. So they need to release all of the surveillance camera footages. All of it. Because if you're talking about more than one shooter, don't focus in on the cameras that were, more so to the LC building with Tyler Robinson. Release all the surveillance camera footages of all the buildings around that canopy. And they had about 5 or 6 buildings where it surrounded the canopy, the grassy knoll area where Charlie Kirk was sitting. All those cameras in all of those buildings around it need to be released. That's what needs to happen. That way we don't have to sit here and guesstimate and theorize anything. We can see what's on the camera footage. And the fact that they're not doing that is concerning. People who were there recording, they need to post up their videos. That's what's going to have to happen. Post up the videos. If you were there recording, post that stuff up. Because otherwise, we're going to be theorizing to kingdom come. And it's just a disservice to all the students, to the family, to everybody. Whatever the investigators are doing, it's crazy. Just get all the surveillance cameras. That'll be the first thing you get. No, we want all the cameras from all the buildings around here. That's how I would handle that. If I was in charge, I would handle it just like that. I want that building footage. I want that building. Every building that's around this canopy. I want all the surveillance camera footages. I want to know who went up every stairway, who went into every hallway, everybody that was standing in the windows. I want to know exactly what was going on in these buildings around this canopy. That, to me, that's logic. That's the first thing you think you would want to get. All of the surveillance camera footages from all the buildings. And if you don't need it, then you don't need it. But you'd rather have them all and not need some than to sit here and have to keep going back to get something you still need. They didn't have any plan for covering the safety or anything. What to do if you have an active shooter on campus. They have protocols at the school that were not enacted, obviously. So the UVU campus security protocols failed. The police failed. And they didn't really get something revived, some sort of plan in place to secure the actual crime scene. Someone was taking down the security camera behind Charlie Kirk. Now that I did see in a video. Who the hell was the person taking down the camera behind Charlie Kirk? Who took that camera down? Why that person is not identified? I don't care if he's a cop or not. Whoever took it down should not have touched it. Because that camera has to have some footage on it to show if there is some, shot that came from behind him, that camera would pick it up. Why take down that camera? That's the stuff people need to see. If you're going to sit here and release stuff to the public, release all the surveillance cameras. We should have at least 6-7 different good angles from every building around that grassy knoll area of just camera footage of what was going on at the same time. It's crazy. I hope DNA don't lie. So far, DNA is DNA. I hope it don't start lying. If DNA start lying, we in trouble. You can't get to it. I can't exist in a reality where DNA is lying. Come on. People lie. DNA don't lie. People lie. But I'm talking about the camera footage. You know what? It sounds like a good idea. Maybe call FBI suggested. I'm sure they haven't thought of that. Child, please. If they have, we will see more of it. I'm not saying they may not have thought about it, but they also didn't think to secure the crime scene area either. I'm not doubting and the FBI has. Now I'm talking about the campus security and the campus police and the city police. The FBI didn't come in until later. So it will be the job of, unless they, cooperate, UVU campus can cooperate and give them all the camera footages. But, I'm just like, why not release the name of the person that was taking down the camera? We saw that. So it's not like something that's not conspiratorial. We actually saw a person stand in a chair and take down a camera. What did they do with it? That's the question. That's all I'm asking. What did they do with that camera footage? And what's on it? Why isn't that released out? So if it wasn't for the people in the audience recording, many of us would not have been able to actually see the shot itself. It was because someone caught it on camera. But I hope that the FBI does have what they need. But I can tell you right now, there are a lot of protocols that lacked. Safety campus, security protocols. They supposed to partner and work with the police department, local police. They didn't have a plan at all when that first happened. None. They supposed to have an active shooter plan in place already. And they didn't do anything. They just kind of ran around maniacal and no one had any organization about anything. Just those first few minutes are crucial to securing the area, to identifying, if you can, the shooter, and then getting people out safely. That's just a part of protocol. And they didn't have that. Or they didn't activate it. Where is the camera? You're a real pimp. What the hell? All of that footage is controlled. Yeah. Candace Owens already seen and spoke on that camera. Yeah, but did she show the footage? That's the problem. Who's the person that took the footage? Did she give a name? That would be great. Who does that person work for? Was that a police officer that took down the camera? That's something to think about, man. I just, hopefully the FBI, they kind of kind of get it together. And hopefully this will teach campuses and stuff to, if you got, you know, a security protocol in place, follow that. Because sometimes that can be the difference between securing a crime scene area versus people running around and picking up cases all willy-nilly. You know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It helps to keep the story intact and keep the facts out there first. But you guys, if you haven't seen that latest video that I did, make sure you check that out, because I do pull up. It's like a 3D model of the head and neck area where you can see the blood vessels and stuff, and just trying to, based on the second video of a new shooter, trying to angulate how that bullet entered and exit out through the neck. You know, it's something else. I slowed it down. I never saw the bullet, but I did see the back of the head splatter. I just never saw the bullet enter. But I'm not an expert at it, so I would love a cleaner version, cleaner video. That would be great. So just wanted to chat with you all about that. You always get a bunch of new people in. We talk about hey, like Trump. Trump must pay y'all bills. Come on now. I know he's got a fan base. You're a fan. You're a fan. You're a fan now. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I am almost here to do my civic duties of working in a civilized society. I appreciate all of you all. Hit the like button. Thank you all so much. And I will see you all later on this evening. Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.